Hello, I am Centimus Prime, and here I will be showing you how to build Daitrution, another alternate build I've made using the LEGO Creator set number 31112 Wild Lion set. Now, first and foremost, I'll be showing you the parts used to build this alternate build. Of course, I will be giving you a good bird's eye view of all the parts needed. And as per usual, there are certain sections pre-built that are either mirrored or replicated throughout the build. Nothing new there. However, before I get into the building, I do want to quickly mention that I noticed when looking back at my showcase video for this guy that I somehow completely forgot to mention the spare parts that I didn't use, the leftover parts. So I wanted to rectify that here real quick. Just a real quick thing. So, and I'll be going through these parts real quick. And yes, I tried building him a gun while I was building him. I tried to build him like sort of gun. But when I was finished building him, I felt like he didn't really need this or anything. So there's that. So there's that. And of course, here's more of the parts. More of the parts. I do see that there was really a lot of parts that were left over from this build. And hopefully I don't accidentally pull in parts I do need. Again, lots of parts that I ended up not using for this build. And I just wanted to mention it here before I forget again. There's just a lot of parts I really didn't use this time, which is a lot compared to the other build from the sets that I've made. But with that out of the way, mostly, let's finally get into the build itself. Now, first and foremost, we will be starting off with the torso, I guess. Yeah. So, first let's grab one of these parts, the 2x2. Then we'll grab two of these brackets, these upward brackets. We attach them onto the anti-studs, like so. Then we take one of each of these mixel ball and socket joints, and we just attach them like so. Then after that, we layer on another 2x2, like so. And then on top of that, we place a couple of these downward brackets. Pretty simple. Then after that, what we do is we take a burnt orange 2x2 and we attach it to the anti-studs, like so. Then after that, we'll take this fender piece and we'll attach it onto the anti-studs like this, making sure that the headlight details are facing the same side as the ball joint, like so. Then after that, you take one of these beige 2x2s with the hole extension, and then one of these same parts in the maroon color. Layer them on top of each other like so, make sure that the maroon part is on top. Then you just replicate that. Okay, then you attach both these onto the studs on the side, like so, making sure that the sides with the hole are again facing towards the side with the ball joint, like so. After that, we'll build the lower jaw. So we'll take 3 of these mixel ball joints, layer them on top like so, making sure that 2 are lined up like side by side, and 1 is attached to each one of them, connecting the 3 together like so. After that, we'll take one of these 3 tooth pieces and we'll attach it to the 2 studs facing towards the middle ball joint, like so. Okay? Then we'll take this slope piece and we'll attach it to the studs, like so. After that, we turn around, then we take 2 of these inverted slope pieces, and then we attach them to the anti-studs, like so. Alright, now with that part done, let's work on the chest next. So, what we do is we take one of these 1x2s in the ketone orange color. We take one of these red hinge pieces, claw piece, minifigure hand, like one of these red parts. We attach it to one of the studs, like so. Then after that, we'll take a maroon slope piece and a singular tooth piece, and we'll attach the stud onto the lower, onto the anti-stud that hangs down, like so. After that, we'll attach the other maroon anti-stud to the red stud, like so. Then after that, we'll take one of these Baraki eyes and we'll clip it onto this hinge part, like so. Like that. And of course, you do mirror this build. Then after that, we'll take one of these rounded pieces and attach another 3-tooth part onto the anti-studs, like so, and attaching them to the anti-studs away from the 2 studs on the part itself. Then after that, you connect each one of these parts, each one of these studs from these sections to the anti-studs of the ketone orange part, like so. And so, now you have the chest part done. And now we work on the head real quick. So starting off, we take one of these pieces. We take a tooth, a tooth. We attach it to one of the holes on this side. In this case, we're pointing it this way, and we're gonna rotate the tooth upward, like facing up, like so. After that, we'll take one of these tile pieces and we'll attach it this way so that the corner is facing towards the stud. Now you just mirror that build. Okay. After that, we take a burnt orange 1x2 and attach them to the 2 black anti-studs, making sure each horn is facing the same direction. After that, we take this textured piece and we attach the lower anti-studs onto the black studs, like so, making sure that the side with the studs are facing towards the horns, like so. Then we take one of these mixel socket joints, attach a 1x2 black cheese slope, like so. Then we take a bracket piece, attach it onto the anti-studs, And then we take a 1x2 in green, and we attach them to these studs, like so. Then after that, we can attach this, like this back piece, onto the green studs, connecting them to the maroon studs, like so. Now we have the head done. After that, we'll work on the legs next. Why not? So for the legs, we'll take this part and take a bracket piece, attach one stud onto the anti-stud at the end, like so. Okay. Then we'll take this corner plate and attach one of the anti-studs onto here. Attach it like so, making sure that the overhang is facing away from the side with the brackets. After that, we take a 1x3 plate, we attach it onto these the brackets like so, and then we take the wedge. In this case, it's the wedge that has the overhang facing this way, and we attach it onto these 3 studs like so. And of course you do mirror that, but we're not done yet. Let's turn around. We take a 1x6, we attach it to the anti-stud that's overhangs right there, attach it like so. Take a 1x2, attach one stud onto here, the second stud down. Okay. Then after that, we'll take, let's see, what part? Let's do this part first. So, we'll take a 2x4, we attach it onto the 4 studs back here, like so, making sure that the overhang is facing towards the overhang of this 1x2. And then after that, we take another 1x6 and attach and layer it on top of here, have it so it's lined up with the previous 1x6, sandwich it together, and now you have that locked in place. So what you do next is you take the red snot brick, you attach it onto the other 1x2 stud, like so, have it so the stud is facing outward. Then after that, we'll take the round tile and attach it onto these 3 studs, like so. Then after that, we'll take this bracket piece, attach onto this red stud, like so, have it so that the bracket part is facing upward. And then we'll take a cheese slope, a 1x1 cheese slope, and attach it to that white stud, like so, making sure that the higher end is facing towards the bracket side, forming some sort of kneecap. After that, we take 2 more of these textured pieces, we layer them on top of these studs down here, so boom and boom, having it so it looks like that. Then after that, we take this part, another 1x2, layering it, and we'll place it onto these 2 anti-studs right here, like so. Then after that, the remaining 2 anti-studs down here, we'll place another mixer ball joint here right next to this part, like so. Alright. After that, we'll take another one of these beige pieces with the overhang, and then with the hole on the side, and we'll attach it, and we'll layer it over the bottom 4 anti-studs like so, making sure that the overhang is facing away from the ball joint. Then after that, we'll take this part, like this snot brick. We attach this stud onto the hole on the side, like so, making sure that the other hole is facing away from the rest of the segment, and making sure that the stud is facing up and the anti-stud is facing down. Onto the anti-stud, you place a 1x1 round piece, like so, and on the stud, you place a heart tile, and you can see where that's going. The bottom of the heart is going to basically fit into that corner. So like so. See? Okay. Darn fly. He can stay there for now, but I'm gonna get him later. But for now, let's work on the foot. So we'll take a mixel socket piece, attach it onto the ball joint, and we're gonna face the studs downward, so we can attach a maroon 1x2 cheese loaf piece, attach them onto the studs like so, making sure that the elevated end is facing in towards the rest of the build, and then we attach 2 more of these inverted slope pieces onto the anti-studs. So the elevated stud on each part is going to go attached to these anti-studs like so. And boom. Okay, and with that done, you can then mirror that. Nice. Next, let's work on the arms. So for the arms, we'll start with this part, and we'll attach with this interesting mixo ball and socket joint, and we'll attach this pin joint onto the socket like so. Then what we do is we take another one of these textured pieces, and we attach the elevated anti-studs over these studs like so. And then what you do with that is you take another 1x2 in the burnt orange, you layer them over the 2 anti-studs facing towards the ball joint like so. And then with that, you take this part, this white part, you attach it onto the stud facing towards the sockets, and have this facing towards the socket as well. Then after that, we take another one of these slope pieces and layer them over these studs. Then what you do is you take a little horn, attach them onto the hole facing away from the texture, and attaching it to there, and having it so that the horn is pointed like upward towards the pin. And then we take this part and we attach it to the other side of this white part like so, and we'll rotate it up, facing forming a sort of moon curve alongside this piece. In other words, having it face towards this way. Next, we'll work on the forearms, and the forearms are pretty simple. We take this part, we take a 1x3, attach it onto one of the anti-studs, take a 1x1 beige piece, attach onto the other anti-stud. Then after that, we'll take one of these 1x1 round pieces, attach them onto the second middle stud, and then take one of these red parts, attach them onto the other keyed orange stud, And then after that, we'll take another one of these wedge pieces. Again, having it on this side, we're going to have this one where the overhang is facing this way. And you can see what's going to go on. These studs are going to line up with, so we're going to attach it. These studs are going to line up with these anti-studs. And then this stud is going to hide under this anti-stud right here. So having it lined up like that. Then we'll attach the socket onto the ball joint like so. Very nice. Then after that, we'll work on the blade weapon, which is pretty simple. We just take this part, we just take one of these inverted slope pieces. We take this one, a T-slope. We attach it onto the elevated stud like so, having the high point facing towards, having the tall end facing towards the other stud. Then we take this piece, we attach this stud onto this anti-stud at the end, like so, having it so it kind of lines up. Then after that, we take another maroon cheese slope and we attach it to this second stud right here, having the tall end facing towards the back. These two and these studs right here. Then after that, we can line these two end studs up with these two anti-studs like so. Then after that, we'll take this part and attach it to this stud right here, making sure that the overhang is layered up over the hand. And boom, after that's done, you can then mirror this build. That's nice. And then we'll work on the back legs, the kibble legs. So we'll take a mixel ball joint, this vertical mixel socket joint, attach them. Then we'll take a 1x6, attach the end anti-stud onto this stud at the end, like so. Then after that, we'll take a 1x2, attach it to these two middle anti-studs on the 1x6. Take a 1x3, attach each stud to each of these anti-studs right here and here, like so. Then after that, we'll take this slope brick, attach the anti-studs facing away from the stud, and attach that to this stud at the end of this 1x6, like so. Then after that, we take another 1x2 and attach one of the studs to the anti-stud at the end, like so. Then after that, we'll take a 1x6 brick and attach each of these studs at the end to each of these anti-studs, like so. Then after that, you fold it accordingly. So you are going to build two of these. They're identical, but folding them up, but we are going to fold them up accordingly. And so we're going to fold it up like this, 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 and this. And of course you do like the mirrored for the other part. These two are not these two sections aren't mirrored, but folding them, but you do mirror them the way you fold them up, if that makes any sense. Then after that, you attach each of these brackets to each of these anti-studs. So like so. You attach the anti-studs of here onto each of these bracket parts like so. And then attach the other mixer ball joint parts onto the remaining studs for the brackets like so. Okay. Then after that's done, we can now start assembling the final assembly. So, we take the torso, take the chest plate, attach the chest plate onto there, attach the chest plate onto these 4 gray studs, like so. Then what we do is we attach this ball joint onto the socket joint, like so. Then we attach the head via the socket joint onto the ball joint, like so. Then after that, we'll take this and like fold these guys up again. Fold them towards the anti-studs on this section. Then we'll attach these 4 studs onto these 4 anti-studs back here. So like that. Very, very, very interesting. Me enjoy that a lot. Then after that, we'll attach each of these pins to their respective holes. So like that. And like that. So that's looking good. And then finally, we're going to attach each of these legs to the hip ball joint. The ball joints at the hips. So, like, boom, and, like, boom. Preferably without completely shattering the thigh. And then after then after that whole thigh is put that back together, and after everything's all assembled, you are done. You are done, and that is how you build Daitrution. And that'll be it for this video. If you enjoyed this if you enjoyed this build, consider to like and subscribe, and maybe even comment if you want. And of course, I will be posting again sooner or later.